Most men were forced to become strong before they were ever taught how to heal. Kevin Samuels breaks down the truth nobody wants to say out loud.
All right, so last night I was talking about fear. And here's the thing. I want you guys to understand that I don't speak about stuff just to be talking. If the people I don't work with understand that we all got to put in some work. We were all parented the best way our parents knew how, right? I mean, I think especially because so many people today don't have children, we put a lot of pressure on our parents, and parents are human. Think about it. Your mother and your dad. Think about your relationship. Think about your most volatile relationship where your feelings were involved. And I want you to take that, and then I want you to inject a child into it, right? How many of y'all was upset because a text came in wrong or because something fell apart? Did you think about putting a kid in that? Man, you got to give your parents some slack because they're just human. Why do I say that? Because none of us were really perfectly parented. That's not an excuse. It's just an admission of what's going on, because here's the reality, especially for us men, man. Now, you know I'm an advocate for my homeboys. I'm an advocate for my dudes, but we got to remember that even if it were the way it was supposed to be, right, the burden of leadership still falls to us, right? If it were 100% the way it was supposed to be, we still got to go out there and fight. I love this show. What was that show? This lost. Remember Spartacus? That used to be on not Netflix, but Stars. In the first episode, when he's in his hut or his tent with his woman, and then the elders of the village come and say, "Hey, man, these people are coming over here, blah, blah, blah." I'm thinking, I was like, you got to realize that's what we used to be. No matter what we thought we were doing, we had to go defend. Meaning that we as guys, we as men it is better for our relationships and our mentality, everything else, when we are in groups with men fighting, defending, hunting, such and so forth. I said it last night. I said it again the night before. We're supposed to be close to our ladies, but we're not supposed to be their best friends. And one of the things I'll say about me, I'm an only child, so I got only child syndrome. Okay. So I was raised, my father has a lot of kids. So we had attachment and abandonment issues, acceptance issues, only child syndrome, very strategic, very logical. So an avoidant kind of attachment style, all other kind of insecurities and problems. That's why it takes time to become a fully functioning man. If someone would have told me in my teens, you're not going to really understand what it means to be a man until you're about 40. I'm like, oh, but then I thought I had to have it understood by 20 because, and I just shout out to my mom Dukes. I was just texting my mother. I grew up without a dad in the household. So most boys that do that grow up trying to step into men's roles and father roles and all that other kind of stuff. We're in Dumbo. Okay, we try to grow up too soon as men. I'm trying to be a grown-ass man at 14 years old, pay bills around the house, make straight A's in school, be the best in the band, and all this other kind of stuff, because that's how I'm driven. Too much pressure. And then often as guys, we end up putting so much pressure on ourselves and taking on so many pressures because that's just who we are as men. We break. So a lot of you ladies got to realize you're getting guys who are good dudes. Just had no leadership or direction. Nobody told us the roadmap. So we're trying to figure out all this other stuff, and we don't like failing you. So a lot of dudes are scared too. Just like, well, I'm trying to become a man I never saw, a father I never saw, a husband I never saw, a brother I never saw, a friend I never saw, all while at the same time moving in the world. So this is what I need you ladies to understand, that a lot of times y'all see us as brothers, men, and y'all Y'all don't realize how important y'all's words are to men. That's why I said feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. I love the old school cartoon Popeye. Why? Because Popeye, Brutus, Wimpy, and Olive Oil. But you realize the impact Olive Oil had on Popeye. Not, you can say he was a simp and this other, no. Popeye became the best version of himself when he stopped trying to worry about, dealing with Brutus. When every time Olive Oil was in trouble, what would he do? He'd get his ass whooped and pop a can of spinach. I want you guys to understand. You ladies need to understand. Your words to men are like spinach. I'm going to tell y'all something, okay? Trust your Godfather. Ladies, your words, you got to remember, if you care about a man, you gotta chill on that sharp tongue, because you're speaking to the scared little boy in him, okay? I'm not supposed to break their code, but I'm old. I can risk it. I don't expect my young dudes to go out and risk it, but I'm going to tell you, you're speaking to the scared little boy in him. Our mothers had a direct line into our hearts. This is what Iana Van Zant used to talk about. And many of us never learned how to communicate the right way. So you got to be careful with your words when you're dealing with your man. And conversely, men, this is hard to understand too. She was raised by a mother who was more like a sister to her. Just like we were son husbands, they were daughter sisters, okay? So a lot of these women, while boys may have gotten overly loved on, or it's extreme, and there can be a lot of women, especially attractive women, their mother's biological instinct said, this is my younger replacement, right? So a lot of women went to get to their love for their mothers, and their mother's like, you tough, you be all right. So a lot of women don't know how to feel or emote, right? So, and then their dads weren't around, just like our dads weren't around, because just like when you with your woman, right? If you got a kid, what's going on between you and your lady is what's between them. You her daddy, and that's her mama, okay? So all these dynamics are going on. So think about your lady friend. Your lady friend didn't have her dad in her life to where she could be the protected princess. And her mom didn't have her husband to where she had her man, so that she didn't have to look at her daughter as her replacement. So her daughter is not being protected like a princess, going to her mother, not being able to speak to her mom in a loving way, getting advice. It's jacked up. And they don't know this. We didn't know this stuff coming up. So you get this woman out here, and she's told she needs to go to college, get a job, be able to live in New York City, LA, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, take care of yourself, be strong, independent, such and so forth. And all these girls wanted to do was be able to go to Girl Scouts, sell Girl Scout cookies, have sleepovers, easy bake oven. They wanted to just be able to do girly stuff, go to princess birthday parties, and all that stuff, because that's what I did with my daughter. I'm a big 6'4" man, and I would take my baby girl to princess birthday parties. Little girls, when they're around each other, want to be girls. But you think about it, that fine woman you're looking at, who she can speak poison into your soul, we have to remember that you're speaking to the little girl in her too. This is why, and here's the fucked up part, man. Okay? Here's the fucked up part. Okay? I'm going to use a Kwame Brown, a Dulo twist. Here's the fucked up part. The little broken boy in you has to step into the man to speak to the little girl in her before she can speak to the little boy in you. That is the problem. That's what comes with power, headship, and the penis. It ain't fair. It ain't fair. I know it ain't fair. You're like, well, wait a minute. I didn't get it grown up and she didn't get it grown up. Yeah, I can't change it, bro. I can't change it, and I don't like it. I don't like it either. I don't like that as young black men, you're having to step into a space that you didn't see. That's why I say we build it as we fly it. That's why I say all of us are broken. We got to give each other grace and mercy in order to, because somebody's going to have to risk something. For any woman, and this is any woman, but especially black women, you know, everybody like, you hate black women. If I hated black women, I wouldn't talk to you. If I hated black women, let me tell you what I would do. If I hated black women, the way I can present an impact, I'd bring a bunch of non-black women in and give them the code on how to get black men to believe. It's not that I don't like black women. I want us to be better than we ever thought we could be. So I've fucked up a lot in life. I've had a lot of pains, heartaches, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sharing it with you so you don't have to. You can choose to say, I don't like his delivery. I don't like his tone. But if you can just get over the tone and understand the heart of the man that's trying to speak to you. I'm not trying to tear you down, but what I am telling you is this world cares nothing about all that stuff. When we are out here, everybody has a story. Everybody has a problem, but ain't nobody coming for us. And when the winter comes, just like it was in that pandemic, you got single men, single women. We're all isolated, alone, and vulnerable. We are better off as a group. We are better off when we have groups of men, groups of women, and the men are doing what the men are supposed to be doing, and the women are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And there is nothing that's going to be a universal fix. It's going to require each one of us to be real with ourselves. And if you can find a group of men to be your wolf pack, your gauntlet, as it were, to keep you on task and in frame, to keep that little boy scared part of you, you gotta talk to that little boy and tell inside of you too, because he's in that corner over there waiting to come out. You gotta be like, I got it. I've done the work. You didn't get what you needed coming up, but I got you now. Don't go back into that part. You just gotta make peace with that part and move forward. Because one thing I know for sure, when we as men decide to step into those scared places and become the men we never thought the men we didn't see, we change things. We change things because we change what's around us, because we are the builders. And that's one of the biggest twists. We're not supposed to talk about this because that's soft, that's weak, that's bullshit. There's emotional intelligence. Being able to speak to the heart of the problem goes a long way. See, I'm a martial artist. I'm gonna tell you right now, getting a black eye heal, getting a busted lip, hard bruises will heal, but those emotional wounds, those words that are said, there are words right now that I guarantee you that every man right now remembers a woman, maybe even a mother or somebody you loved said something to you, and it still haunts you to this day. But here's the problem. We are more willing to go back to that painful memory than do this. Think about the time when you got that bit of love from that person. My first grade teacher, Miss Rosemary Butts. I used to be able to draw real well. I remember she took me out of class one day and said, and I was in the hall, and one of the other teachers walked by and she said, "You see that right there? He drew that. He is a great artist." And it seemed like for hours, that woman just sat there and lavished praise on me in front of other teachers. That one moment changed my life, gave me confidence. And I came from a family where you get praise and things like that, but it was different. You got times like that too. Maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a coach, maybe somebody in church. Go to those memories instead of the negative ones, because we get to choose the tapes we play, right? And even if you only have one or two of those times, go back to one or two of those times. And what I'm telling you, ladies, is the women who can understand that men have not gotten enough affirmation from their mothers, the women in their family, the women who can give authentic affirmation to men are women who win. That's why I say feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. And understand something. Men who can be confident, intelligent, but you got to have the last part. Confidence is critical. Intelligence comes in many forms, but it's the ability to assert. We got to do something. Men have to be men of action. When we are assertive, we give women the inspiration they need to inspire us. So I think a lot of folks get a lot of message twisted because of the sound effects and the Big Shirley and this and that. And But you gotta take a little bit of this with a little bit of that. But what I am seeing is I'm seeing it be help. I'm actually seeing every day in my life a change. Everywhere I go, I'm seeing men saying, thank you, I appreciate it. And I see women saying the same thing. Now, just imagine this, I'm a run. Imagine what it's going to be like a year from now when more men start moving in the way they need to move. And when more women start moving in the way they need to move. We all can become the things we never saw growing up. And we don't need to rely on anybody else to change anything for us. We change it ourselves. Peace out.
This is probably one of the realest things Kevin ever talked about, because underneath all the loud delivery, he's talking about pressure. A lot of men grew up trying to become providers, protectors, and leaders before they even understood themselves emotionally. The part that stands out most is when he says, men are often speaking from the scared little boy inside them. Most men never hear that acknowledged. Society tells men to perform, provide, and survive, but rarely teaches them how to process fear, rejection, pressure, or failure. And he also points out something important. Many men didn't grow up seeing healthy masculinity. No father in the house, no guidance, no roadmap. So a lot of men are building themselves while fighting emotional battles nobody sees. What makes this message powerful is that he's not telling men to stay broken. He's saying men have to step into leadership anyway, heal anyway, grow anyway. That's the responsibility that comes with being a man. That's why strong male circles, mentors, discipline, purpose, and self-respect matter so much. Because if a man never deals with the broken boy inside him, eventually life forces it out of him one way or another.